Hello and welcome. Today we're diving right into the world of work. We're going to explore how to compare different jobs, from summer gigs to long-term careers, and really figure out what kind of path is the perfect fit for you.
So, here's our plan. We'll start by looking at different kinds of work. Then we'll listen in on a conversation, zoom in on some important grammar and pronunciation, and check out a few different workplaces. This is all going to get you totally ready for the activities you'll be doing in class. Okay, let's kick things off. First up, we're looking at the big picture. What's the difference between summer jobs, internships, and, full-on careers? At some point, we all ask ourselves this. Are you looking for a fun way to make some cash over the summer? Do you need an internship to get that all-important experience? Or are you starting to think about your long-term career? Just thinking about your goal is a great first step. Okay, let's see how this all sounds in the real world. We're going to listen to how people actually talk about their job options and the kinds of choices they're trying to make. So imagine your friend tells you they just got a new job. A really simple, positive way to respond is just, "That's great." It shows you're happy for them, you're impressed. It's a fantastic little phrase to keep in your back pocket. In a real conversation, you're going to hear people making comparisons just like these. For example, maybe the office job has better pay, but the camp counselor job sounds way more interesting. People are always weighing the good and the bad, the pros and cons of their options. So here's the key part, learning how to make these comparisons correctly. Let's break down the grammar tools you need to compare jobs, or really to compare just about anything in English. First things first, we use adjectives when we want to compare the qualities of things. Is one job more exciting? Is another one less stressful? Adjectives are what help us describe these kinds of differences. Here's a perfect example. We're using the adjective challenging with more than to compare how difficult these two jobs are. See? Simple and really effective. We can also compare amounts using nouns. This is perfect for when you're talking about stuff you can actually count or measure, like money or hours, responsibilities. For example, you can use a phrase like more money than to make a really clear comparison about salary. This structure helps you talk about all those practical differences between two roles. Okay, so now that we know what to say, let's focus on how to say it. A small change in your pronunciation can make you sound so much more natural, especially when you're saying job titles. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. For compound nouns, which are just two words put together, there's a pattern. The stress or the emphasis almost always goes on the first word. Listen, firefighter, game tester, project manager. Go ahead, try saying them with me. Okay, so now that we've got the language to compare jobs, let's actually use it to look at different kinds of workplaces. What really makes an office a great place to work anyway? Before we look at some examples, just take a second and think about this for yourself. Is it the location, the people you work with, the perks? What do you value most in a work environment? So here's a quick look at 3 very different jobs. Notice how the descriptions help us get a feel for them. For a video game designer, the environment is fun and stimulating, and it's well paid. An interior designer has a really creative and rewarding job, but it can be stressful. And a flight attendant gets to travel a lot and meet new people. Each one has its own pros. To help you really understand these descriptions, let's go over some of this key vocabulary. A perk is just a special advantage, like maybe you get flexible hours. Stimulating means it's interesting and makes you think. A rewarding job is one that just makes you feel good and satisfied. And stability, well, that just means the job is secure and steady. So,
This is the big question for you to think about. And listen, there is no right answer here. The perfect workplace is totally different for everyone. Would you rather have that fun, creative job or the one with tons of travel? All right, let's wrap this up by looking at exactly how you're going to put all of these new skills to work in your class. So, your in-class mission has 3 parts. First, you'll compare 2 jobs. Next, you'll discuss which workplace you'd pick and explain why. And finally, you'll do a fun role play where you try to persuade your partner to take a certain job. And I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. As you get ready to discuss and compare, ask yourself this: is the job that pays the most money always the best job? When you think about the environment, the challenge, the perks, what really makes a job the best? It's definitely something important to think about. You did a great job today. Now go have fun in class.